Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa and another video on the Nordschleife challenge. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today we are going to be, well, first of all I'm going to move this microphone a little bit closer to me so that my voice is a little clearer. There we go. And today we are going to be driving the Nissan Skyline R34 V-Spec, the car that is very difficult to find specifications for. Now, the reason for that is because, as was the agreement at the time, this car has 276 brake horsepower, exactly the same amount of horsepower, incidentally, as the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Was it the Evolution 5 at the time? The Subaru Impreza WRX, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT or GTO, the Honda NSX, the Mazda RX-7, what other cars all have 276 brake horsepower, and I think there was another car as well in addition to the Skyline, all with 276 brake horsepower. Now, I have managed to find some specifications for this, but it was rather difficult. So what I'm going to be doing, as usual, is going to be 2 practice laps on Patreon. So if you want to see that, please do go visit my Patreon channel, link in the description box, followed by the laps that you're about to see, which is my lap, which are the laps that I'm going to set my lap time on. So it could be 2 laps, it could be 3 laps, and then we're going to put it on the board and I'm going to see where it stacks against some of the other cars, and in addition to that, where I feel it is on driver engagement. It should be a good car. I'm expecting this car to be top 4 on the driver engagement. Certainly would not expect it to be anywhere lower than the Fiat 500. I think the Fiat 500 it's got to be above that point, but you never know. In terms of lap time, put your lap time guesses in the comments box right now. I think this car is going to do I think it's going to be slower than the ECGadget, which was an 8 minutes 2, but faster than the BMW and the Audi S1, which was an 8 minutes 40, 44, 43, that's it. So I think 8 minutes 20 for this car, and remember, it is on street tyres, not semi-slicks. Semi-slicks, we're probably looking in the 7 minutes. So let's see what I can do with this. Alright, here we go for the first of a few laps. I've done my practice. I can tell you now, it's a very nice car to drive. Very, very nice car to drive. Of course, 276 brake horsepower is what they say it had. I believe that measured figures, you're looking at around 310 to 320 brake horsepower on these cars. So that is probably the figure that it really had, not 276. Also, in addition to that, if we take into account the torque figures, I believe the measured torque figures are around, once I get around here, 283 foot-pounds of torque, or about 384 newton meters of torque. Top speed 156 miles per hour, and the claimed mass of this car was 1,550 kilos. I believe it's been measured to be 1,660 kilos. So make of that what you will. I'm not sure exactly what the specs are. That was the difficult part of this car, is getting a hold of specs. That has been the biggest difficulty on this car. Oh. One spec that was really easy to get were the tyres and the wheels. So we're on 18-inch wheels all around, 245 40 R18s on the tyres, which is lovely, good a good width of tyre for a car like this. Four-wheel drive, 245s, really gives you a good amount of grip for any kind of driving. I think if you made them wider than that, you might start getting. Well, actually, I think this is just perfect. It's the correct specs to 245. It just feels right, just like the BMW's tyres felt right, whereas the Cosworths did not. They just felt slightly too narrow. This car revs out to 8,000 RPM. That's actually where the power is. The power is all at 8,000 RPM, so you really should be revving this car pretty hard. And I think it's great. The 6-cylinder engine, straight 6, really nice. Sounds great. It really gives you a feeling of the car you're driving, and that's one of the things. Cars like this, they have to give you a feeling of the car that you're driving. And another thing that's great about the car is that you can just slide the car around anywhere you want. Admittedly, that was not as much of an intentional slide as I was hoping. I was going to talk about sliding the cars, but I wasn't expecting it to slide quite as much there. It's almost like a Scandinavian flick in a way there, the way where I threw it in. But this car just slides wherever you want it to go, and unlike a normal, perhaps rear-wheel drive car or even a four-wheel drive car, when the slide is not when you're at the limit, this car slides on demand. So if you want it to slide, it's going to slide. If you do not want it to slide, provided you don't do something stupid like I did, which was hard on the brakes and turning at the same time, I clearly just lost the grip on the wheels on the rear. Look at this. It's just so nice to drive this car. This is. It won't slide. Now it does have the four-wheel drive understeer, unfortunately, but that's expected, I would say. Ooh, that was slow through there. In practice, I went a lot faster. I didn't go below 100 miles per hour in practice. No traction control, no ABS, as I like to run cars without that. I think it's just a better feel of the car when you do something like that. So no traction control or ABS for this. Just seeing what I can make of the car. I'm 4 seconds up on the previous lap delta that I had, which is interesting because I did not check what lap time I was going to get. I know where it is around, but I'm not sure what the actual lap time is. Funnily enough, this car is probably the car that I've got to grips with the quickest. The Audi S1 was probably the car that was the second quickest to get to grips with, but this one I've certainly got to grips with the quickest, and it's been very easy to extract lap time out of. That's not saying that I'm driving it perfectly right now, for example. I'm obviously not, but just getting on the power, giving the car what it needs. As you can see the understeer through the corners, which is something that I need to sort of dial out a little over here. And that's just the four-wheel drive system. The Audi S1, same problem. That is something that you get. Although this has a more sophisticated four-wheel drive system, I would say, than the Quattro system, because this has four-wheel steering as well as four-wheel drive. Why did I do that? That's the save of That's the save of the challenge so far in all the episodes. Amazing how easy that was to save, actually, I'll be honest. Oh, I've really made a hash of these two corners. Admittedly, these 4 seconds that I've gained is due to, I think I should have gained a lot more than 4 seconds throughout that lap, because I was actually sliding around. So this has been a sloppy lap. I was sliding around on the previous lap. So on Patreon you can see me just throwing the car about and doing some slides here and there. This is easy to drive, and it's really nice. Really nice. I love the colour as well. I think it's called Bayside Blue. So let's see what the lap time comes up as for my first lap. Now the Macan is a 8 minutes 30 flat. I completely forgot about the Macan. We have an 8 minutes 30 flat on the Macan. So we've got to see if I can beat that lap time, which is going to be, I think that's the goal of this. I have to beat the Macan. I say 8 minutes 30 flat, it was an 8 minutes 30.695. And that's an 8 minutes 29.63 already. There you go. That's pretty good. Let's try and increase that a little bit further. Go. This car is a car that, just like the BMW, is a car that makes you want to drive more. It makes you want to push more and more and more. I do highly recommend driving this car if you haven't driven it already, which I'm sure most people have. And I think it's available. This is the Japanese pack DLC that brought this car out, didn't it? So if anything, this car is worth getting the Japanese pack for. Just check if it is in there. And there's also another car, the 370Z, but since this is a Nordschleife challenge and we're looking at individual cars, not multiple cars, we won't mention that one until I drive it. Half a second up. So it's not great. I wanted the 8 minutes 20, didn't I, originally? That is on the limit right there. That whole thing was on the limit. The braking, that was. This car is really good. This might be in contention for the best car on the driver engagement. It's a shame I'm binning this section of the lap here. After the half a second that I gained. Well, I've just gained a fair chunk of time just there. And the car is just so... It's planted, it's stable, it's more of a... This car I've found is more of a... Tell me where you want to go and I'll go, as opposed to anything else. Right, let's get this part right this time. Oh wow, the sliding, I was so tentative there that I think sliding around was faster. That was embarrassing. Right, okay, so I'm not really gaining much time. I think I've got about 2 or 3 seconds in it overall, looking at where I'm gaining and losing lap time if I were to put it all together. But I'm not sure if I'm capable of doing that without maybe another couple of laps practice. So we've got half a second here, 7/10 there, 2/10. So yeah, I think overall it's going to be about 2-3 seconds that I could get out of this with this tyre set without any assists, etc. No setup changes, of course. But let's see. I want to get it to 8:28. If I can get to 8:28 or 8:27 by the end of this lap. 8:28 I think should be possible by the end of this lap. Oh, I just slightly went below 100 again there. That's again a mistake on my part. Shouldn't be doing that. That's good. That was really nice. Now I've learnt with this car, entering the carousel, there's a nice angle that you can hit. Exited there slightly early, but there's a nice angle that can be hit with the carousel. So I should be 2 seconds up, I feel, but I'm only 1 second up presently, and that's because of my mess ups earlier. That's okay though. We're still really good on pace here. Look at that, third gear through this entire section, and the car is happy to do that. I can get this section a little bit better. I'm going to count the lap time, because I didn't actually gain time there, I've actually lost time. It's absolutely fine, there we go. Early downshift to second this time. So, out of the probably 3 seconds I should be up, I'm 1.5 seconds up. Which is not too much of an issue. As I said, I think there's 4 seconds I should be in it. Oh, that's where I almost binned it. So I forgot about that. So that's 2 seconds probably out of 3.5 seconds up. And obviously I messed up this corner, which I'm not going to do this time. Oh, still got that understeer, but better than before. I might do a third lap. I might just do a third lap on this. Just because I think, to be honest, I'm very close to my limit on this car. I think I am very close to the limit on the car. Gear changes are perfect on this car. Everything about driving this car is really, really nice. The one thing that I would just say that perhaps is annoying is that it has that four-wheel steering system, and that system is just when you drift the car, it just makes you feel like maybe you're not quite the person doing the drifting. You know, it's obviously the car doing it for you. And that's the one thing that I'd say is perhaps a little bit annoying about the car. But it's the way the car was designed. I had to have 2 bites of the cherry there. 826. Well, one more lap. Let's see what we've got. You never know. Just starting to push a little bit more in places where I would not normally be pushing. I've given other cars 3 laps, so I think it's fair to give this car 3 laps as well. And the thing about this one is, as I said, I know that I'm getting closer to my limit, but there's still... oh, that's it. No, it's gone. That's that lap gone. So, what happened there? I'll tell you now. I touched the grass on the inside, and that didn't give me the turning that I wanted. And so that binned the lap. Now I could probably, I'll be honest, I can probably make that most of that back up. Looking at this. In fact, I've probably already made half of it up. Yeah, I've made half of it up already. You know what? Despite the hit, let's just keep going. It's not been the cleanest lap then, but if we get the rest of the lap, in, it should still be faster. I have no idea what's happened there. I think I skipped a gear somehow. That was completely a mistake. And I'm still only 0.3 of a second down. That just shows what this car is capable of when the right person is driving it and when you're comfortable with the car. If you're not comfortable with the car, yes, you are going to run into some problems. Certainly. And the car can be slid around as you've now seen, just demonstrated there. And there we go, now we're in the positive again. This time, not quite as tentative through all of this. And there's half a second. So we lost. I'd say we lost about 4 or 5 tenths of a second that we've just gained back so quickly. Yeah, I'm just throwing the car around now, to be honest. This is not a clean lap at all. I am counting it because it's a lot slower than the previous lap. Sorry, it's a lot slower than the places where I'm messing up. I'm not actually gaining any time. It's just I'm just happening to do silly things. Like there, for example, I've just wasted. I don't know why I did that. I just wasted half a second. I kind of want this in the 825s now. So that means that this car could be capable of an 820, probably an 823, had I not been messing around. There we go, 105 miles per hour through that corner. That is the kind of speed that I was expecting from this car. short shift there, just so we do not slide. Right, do not fall out of the carousel early here. There we go. I even want to do a fourth lap on this, but I'm not going to. I am not going to. So it's 8 minutes 30. Well, we've already beat the 8 minutes 30 point, whatever it was. 8 minutes 30.695. I thought that might have been faster, but it wasn't. That slide did cost me a little. Not a lot, though. Onto the grass. Okay, this lap is pretty much done. I'm just throwing it around now. I don't think I've not felt in Assetto Corsa, it's very rare that you feel comfortable throwing a car around and thinking, yeah, it's going to hold. Like that, for example. Yeah, just like, yeah, that car's going to hold, no problems. Just keep going. Doesn't really matter. And this car is certainly in this Nordschleife challenge. This has been the first one that's given me that confidence to throw around. So that's a good thing. And it's just a shame about the mistakes that I made at the start, which just led me to going, yeah, let's just bin this lap. But even messing around and not going too fast, I say not going too fast as I take 5th there for the first time, messing around and not really pushing as hard as perhaps I could be, just goes to show what this is actually capable of. This is a very, very capable car around this track, and the lap time that it gets, as I said, I know I can get more out of that lap time than is already there. Come on. That's it. Pull it around. This could actually be a second faster still. That's ridiculous. That is actually ridiculous. Even though I lost 2 seconds, the places where I've gained another second. 123 easy, I think, on a proper lap. I really want to do a 4th lap, but I'm not going to. Little bit more careful through that. I think the tyres have got pretty hot now. So 8 minutes 26.42 for this Nissan Skyline. That places it behind the Exige, of course. Let's not talk about the KTM, I think, because the KTM is on different tyres. 8 minutes 26. That's a really good lap time. Slower than I thought it would be. Admittedly, like I said, I was expecting the 8 minutes 20s, but 8 minutes 26 is still a really good lap time. And as you saw, it could have gone faster. There was lap time in it. So I certainly did not do the car all the justice in the world. Nevertheless, I'm impressed. In terms of going on enjoyment on this car, what kind of car is this as a driver enjoyment car? It's a really, really good car. It is a very, very good car. What would I where would I rank this? Now this is where it gets interesting between this and the BMW M3 and the Lotus Exige, because it is that high up there. It's really that good. Where do I put it though? That is the big question. I think the one thing that brought the Exige down a little bit was the fact that the Exige had a tendency on occasion just to snap on you, and that's what brought the Exige down, I think. The one thing that brings the BMW down is that I suppose it just felt a little bit... In fact, there isn't really much that brought the BMW down, thinking about it. Everything about that car, it was the ultimate driving machine. It was the best car. No, actually, there is one thing. There is one thing that the BMW does not do that I wish it did, and that is it didn't sound as great from the inside. It's a bit muffled, not a lot of enjoyment on the car with that. So the BMW is down there. What does this car do badly? I don't know, I just suppose it's you know that there's computers running behind it that are sort of helping you out just a little bit with the four-wheel steering wheel, the really complex all-wheel drive. I know I've switched off traction control and ABS, but there is that, and maybe that's the only downside on this car. But apart from that, this car is brilliant, and I mean absolutely, utterly brilliant. And because of that, I think it knocks the M3 off the top spots in driver enjoyment. This is genuinely an amazing car to drive. It's the best car I've driven so far in the Nordschleife Challenge. And I thought the BMW would stay up there for a little bit longer, I'll be honest. There you go. So this is going to the top of the rankings. And with that, I'm going to end this video. Now, I know if some of you have been watching the performance delta, I'm sort of still kind of pushing the car. You can see some purple lap times coming on. I just want to see what I was losing. It looks like I lost about 2 seconds with all my mishaps. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa with the Nordschleife Challenge. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Let me know what cars you would like to see as well. If you have any suggestions, please do let me know. I do read them even if I do not answer all of them. Sometimes sometimes the YouTube comments just do not work, doesn't let me respond to anything. I'm not sure why. So I may read your comment, and either due to time or things not working, I might not respond to them, but I do read them. If you can do so and want to do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadgets. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really, really help me out. And also, if you want to, you can support me on social media by following me at ECGadget LP on both Twitter and Instagram. That is all from me. I am absolutely loving this car, and I will see you next time on Assetto Corsa for another episode of the Nordschleife Challenge.